Welcome back to another episode of the Moniece Hour. I'm your host, Moniece, a queer mom, an artist, and someone navigating life while working full time in tech. This is a space where we keep it real, share stories, and find inspiration together. So, if you're here for honest talk, motivation, and a bit of company on this journey that we call life, then you're in the right place. So, let's get into it. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. I will be venting and just being real about everything that's weighing on me and things that are weighing on the world, things that are going on within this world right now, within this country, if you're in the United States, and just touching on how it's affecting my mental space. I want to keep it real about how I'm feeling because I know there's others feeling the same way. And maybe what I do to emotionally regulate will resonate with you or help you and give you encouragement throughout this time right now. I will say this episode is going to be a mix of external frustration and just also personal reflection and things that I'm also just realizing about myself in order to be the best version of myself. So thank you in advance for listening to me talk and ramble. It kind of feels like this is a therapy session, or not even a therapy session. It just feels like you all are my friends and we're having a conversation right now. So grab your wine, grab your coffee, your water, whatever, your snacks, and let's talk. So I know that most of you, especially those of you that are in the U.S., and even if you're not in the U.S., you've heard about it. You know that ever since we got our new president, things have taken a turn, or there has been a shift, and it hasn't been good for many groups of people. I wanted to talk about the quick thing about DEI rollbacks, and it just feels like we are backtracking in our progress as a country, as a people. I know a lot of my Black peers feel affected by the DEI rollbacks, but I also just wanted to touch on the other groups of people that it affects. For instance, the LGBTQ community, this also affects us as well. It affects all people of color. It affects women. It affects everyone that isn't what they would consider normal or the standard. And it is scary. It is scary that some of the main companies and organizations that I would go to shop at, right? Target. I'm sure all of you have heard about Target. Amazon and a few other places have also decided to revoke their DEI policy. And that's really discouraging and that's really disappointing. It's very disappointing because we are just in a time right now where it feels like we're going back to a time of control, like a time where a lot of people, a lot of groups of people didn't have rights. They didn't have the opportunities. It was like we were progressing forward and somehow we're going 10 steps back. And that is very discouraging. And as someone that is a person of color, a Black woman, I'm also a lesbian. I'm also just a woman as well. When we are putting all of that into play, I am also scared. I'm scared to even be myself sometimes now, like thinking about this, especially if I'm looking for a new job or wanting to do certain things, just knowing that there is a possibility that I could be discriminated against. And I have thought about how if I am looking for a new place of employment, how I've decided that I might not even disclose my race or sexuality, which I never disclose my sexuality, because why do you need to know if I'm gay or straight? Like, that's really not your business. None of your business. So, but also just having Trump in office right now scares me. It really scares me because he is doing a lot of things that are questionable, and it just affects a lot of people. And it's almost like he's just protecting the group of people that he fits in, which is the rich, the white, the wealthy. It's pretty sad, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting to feel like you're always on guard. It's exhausting to just feel like you don't catch a break. And I feel like I'm just tired. There's parts of me that's just like, I need a vacation. I need to get out of this country just for a little while. I would love to get dual citizenship somewhere as well. I've been thinking about getting dual citizenship in Ghana or somewhere, like preferably an African country, but it's exhausting. It really is exhausting. And for me, I do work at a company that's primarily white. So I'm also just thinking about that as well, because I think I've mentioned this before, but I am the only Black person at my organization. So I think about certain things. I'm not the only person of color though, so that makes me feel just a little bit better. And so with all of this stuff going on right now, with the constant reminder on social media, no matter what social media platform I get on right now, there's something that comes up about Trump, something comes up about DEI, something comes up about, everything that's going on that's bad is coming up on my social media platform and feed, and it's exhausting. So between the politics, the social media, the news, everything, it just feels like so much. I feel like I'm drowning. And it really has you thinking, like for me, because I am a minority, I'm a Black woman, I'm a queer Black woman, I've just been thinking about ways that I can better myself, ways that I can improve myself so that I can move forward in the midst of all of this. And as much as I want to stay informed, as much as I want to be in the know of what's going on, at the same time, how do we stay informed without losing ourselves in the chaos? Because that's the problem. No matter where you turn, you're going to have access to this information. But at the same time, how much of this information can you take before it truly starts to affect you mentally? So for me, I've just been trying to not be on social media as much and enjoy the present moment of what's in front of me. Being grateful for the things that are in front of me right now. My health, my job, my daughter, my dog, the food in my fridge, the money in my bank account, like all of the little things, the ability to breathe, the ability to walk, the ability to have access to fresh water. Just thinking about all the things that are going so good right now in my life is helping me to stay focused. It's so easy to become afraid and scared that you're now in the panic mode because you're thinking about things that haven't even happened yet. Now, it's a difference of being prepared versus panicking and worrying. And so because I know that I'm an overthinker and that I will worry to no ends, right? I have to create that balance in myself where I have to make sure to be mindful of what I'm consuming. And so in order to minimize the amount that I'm consuming, especially of all the bad things, spend time creating, which I actually was watching a YouTube video and a woman mentioned that, and it was great advice. I've been reflecting on just how I handle stress. So with everything that is going on, so easy to become stressed out. It's so easy to just kind of shut down and you're only focused on panicking, like I mentioned before. So for me, I've been wanting to just isolate, kind of just avoid interactions at all costs. I'm not really wanting to talk on the phone much, not really wanting to text, not really wanting to engage with other people, including friends and family, because I just want to be alone. I don't even want to be on social media. I find that lately I've just had the desire to just put my phone away, like hide it, and then not use it for like days at a time, which I can't necessarily do that because I'm also a mom and my kid goes to school. But it's just been a very interesting couple weeks. And what I've been doing, or what I've been trying to do, is allow myself to take the time, right? Giving myself grace. So if that means that, today is one of those days where I don't really feel like interacting with people, then I'm going to keep my interactions low. I'm going to honor myself. I'm going to put my phone down. I'm going to engage in things that make me happy, whether that's drawing, painting, watching my favorite show, cooking, spending time with my daughter, spending time outside walking, also doing my schoolwork. Doing my schoolwork makes me feel good because I'm actively working towards a goal that I have. I am currently in school to get my master's degree, so I have to stay consistent in that. Which also brings me to another thing. in this time that we're in right now, it's going to be important for all of us to develop self-discipline, because a lot of us have goals. A lot of us are trying to do certain things so that whatever is going on in this country doesn't affect us, whether that's make more money, whether that's move out of the country, whether that's travel more, wherever it is, whether it's start our own business. Self-discipline is going to be the key thing that's going to get us there. And I'm realizing that about myself. I have a hard time keeping my word to myself. I can keep my word to other people to a certain extent, but for me, Moniz, oh yeah, I'm breaking my promises to myself too often, and I don't like that. So in me self-reflecting, I want to do everything that I said I would. Everything that I told myself that I said I would do, I want to do it. And I've been really holding myself accountable for that. You said you wanted to do this, but you haven't done this, you haven't done this, you haven't done this. You said you wanted to accomplish this by this date, but you're not doing it. For example, just being more consistent in my physical activity, whether that's walking, doing Pilates. Like I said, I wanted to walk every day, but do Pilates 3-4 times. Now I've been walking, but I haven't been doing Pilates. Why? I don't have a valid reason other than I don't have the motivation, but self-discipline, discipline overrides motivation. You might not have motivation to do something, but discipline, you're going to do it anyway, even if you don't want to. And I'm learning that about myself, and I've purposely been pushing myself because of that. Because in order to succeed anywhere in anything, discipline is going to be at the forefront. I actually started reading a book which I need to finish, and I believe it's called The Power of Discipline. Yep, The Power of Discipline by Daniel Walter. That book is so good, and I've been reading it. I just am not done yet, and I haven't even been consistent with reading that book. So I need to get on it, and I've just been learning that about myself as I've been self-reflecting, as I've been meditating and writing in my journal. No. You need to hold yourself accountable and keep the words to yourself. With that, though, comes also pushing myself out of my comfort zone. I have a fear of going to workout classes. Group classes, not for me. And I've been wanting to do Pilates. I've also been wanting to make friends. I've also been wanting to try different workouts, all of that stuff. But that's going to require me to go to group classes. One thing that I'm realizing is that growth isn't comfortable. And because it's not comfortable, I need to stop waiting for the right time to push myself. I have to push myself regardless. So one of the things that I'm doing, and I will tell you guys about it on the next episode, but I'm a part of this fitness group in Charlotte, and there's different classes that the group leader hosts. And so I signed myself up for their Sunday class at 2 p.m. And I'm scared shitless, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to tell you guys how it went. And me telling you guys this piece of information, this is going to be my accountability right here. So I'll let you know how it goes in the next episode. But I'm going to make sure that I keep showing up for myself. And the way that I'm going to do that is by holding myself accountable, by checking in with myself, by using my planner and really writing down the things that I want to accomplish this week and making sure I'm knocking that shit out the park. Okay? And then when I review it at the end of the week, looking to see what I've accomplished and what I have not, and make revisions so that next week I can accomplish everything. Another thing that I have been noticing, or just it's important. Another key thing that's important and moving forward is making sure that I'm kind to myself. I want to be the kind of person who follows through even for myself. So making sure I'm speaking to myself with kindness, with empathy, giving myself grace, because that same energy that I'm giving to myself when I'm being mean, when I'm talking badly about myself, I would never give that to anyone else. And I think if any of you listening deal with this, think about how you treat people versus how you treat yourself. Treat yourself with kindness. That same level of kindness and grace that you give other people, give it to yourself. Sometimes we even need it more than what we give to others. And it's truly important. With this, I'm going to actually go ahead and wrap up this episode. I just wanted to come in, vent a little bit, give some encouragement, give some gems, and tell you guys how I was feeling, where my mind is. And I just want you guys to know that if you're feeling the same way I'm feeling, if you're feeling overwhelmed by what's going on, if you're feeling hopeless, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling sad, frustrated, angry, all of the things, just know that even though the world around us could be crumbling, even though things around us could be falling, buildings burning, whatever, you have control over what you're doing in your life. All you can do is your best to succeed and reach your goals and control what's going on in your life. We can't control what's going on around us, but we can control what's going on with us. And think about that. If you believe in God, if you have any spiritual practices, now is the time to dive into that. Now is the time to seek your higher powers help, your spirit guides, etc. And if you don't believe in God or higher powers, that's cool. But you could also try meditation and things like that, and just staying grounded within yourself, staying grounded, going outside more, playing in the grass, doing things that kind of pour into you, and learning new skills. By the way, is also going to be important while this man is in term. Okay, sorry, that was a quick side note. But if you're also feeling overstimulated like I am, overwhelmed, or just like you're stuck, you're not alone. You are not alone. We're in this together. But just remember the things that I have mentioned in this episode and keep them with you. Before I leave you guys today, I want to challenge you guys with something. I'm going to ask a question. What's one small way you can keep your word to yourself this week? Keep that in your head, write it down, put it in your journal, and think about ways that you can show up for yourself, that you can pour into yourself. Thank you so much for listening to me vent today. Thank you for listening to me rant and ramble. And thank you so much for holding space for me. I appreciate that. And with that, if you are looking to connect, follow me on Instagram at the Monice Hour. And I will see you all next week. And most importantly, stay true to yourself. Bye.